All right, as you all know, Her Majesty has recently passed away, and I will be talking about this news story along with just the general state of the world right now. Let's dive into it. So, this is an article I screenshotted from The Sun. The title goes, Predator in the Palace. Prince Andrew and Ghislaine Maxwell had intimate relationship, which gave her unrestricted access to Buckingham Palace. It says Prince Andrew and Ghislaine Maxwell had an intimate relationship which gave the socialite unrestricted access to Buckingham Palace, a former royal cop has claimed. Maxwell and the Duke of York's relationship is coming under intense scrutiny as she was jailed this week for 20 years for her role in grooming girls for pedophile multimillionaire Jeffrey Epstein. Yeah, I mean, Jeffrey Epstein was really close with Prince Andrew, so I'm not at all surprised that Ghislaine Maxwell also had a really good relationship with him. Virginia Giuffre, who was one of the victims of Prince Andrew, allegedly said that he was a major player on, Epstein's Island, on being really close with him, and he's one of the main culprits in this whole scheme. And of course, nothing bad happened to him. But the world knows what he's guilty of. I just saw in the Daily Mail an article of Prince Andrew just being heckled relentlessly when he showed up for some ceremony in regards to the Queen. So, and that's just like that's his daily life now. He gets that everywhere he goes. I've heard a lot of articles like that. Here's a meme that says, half my Facebook, the Queen died, the other half, she was a lizard. True. All right, here's another thing I screenshotted here. Did we ever find out how human traffickers Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell had exclusive access to the Queen's personal cabin? Or did that get sealed with a client list? Yeah, they were just really close with the royals in general. I mean, people don't understand how tight he was with Prince Andrew, and that's someone who holds a lot of power in the royal family. Here's someone on, I believe, Instagram or something. I love the Queen. May she rest in peace. God rest her soul. Debating whether I should make a charity donation to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation or the Open Society Foundation in her honor. Obvious sarcasm there. Yeah, they would go to this cabin regularly. All right, let's see. Here's another interesting post about the Queen. Apart from the missing school kids in the 1960s, British Columbia, apart from all this... Oh, yeah, I remember that story about the Queen, showing up to some, really, far out there school in British Columbia, and the day the Queen showed up, a number of the children just disappeared. It was just a very eerie story, if you want to look into it. So anyway, apart from all the stolen jewels and land, apart from her knighting several pedophiles, apart from her marrying her cousin, apart from the murder of Diana, apart from her being able to solve world hunger overnight and choosing not to, apart from her doing nothing while her loyal subjects live in extreme poverty, apart from her ties to Jeffrey Epstein, apart from her recently bribing a sexual abuse victim so that her son wouldn't have to answer human trafficking questions in court, what has she actually done for you? Stop humanizing these monsters. You make me sick. Yeah, and people in the UK still pay a little bit of their taxes to the royal family. And they give nothing back. The Queen, she owned so much land that no one else can buy because she owns it. She owns I don't quote me on this, but I swear I read a stat where she owns as much land as is covered by the United States of America. If you count what she owns in Africa and the United States, it is something ridiculous like that. Oh yeah, I found this interesting. Yeah, I guess right when the Queen died, there was a rainbow shown right near next to where she died. Whatever that means. I think that means that the world's just ready to move on. She represented an aspect of the old world that's kind of falling away, and we're entering a new world. Yeah, this was just I believe a 4chan post. I just thought it was funny and interesting. It's nothing to do with the Queen. The easiest and quickest way to test someone's intelligence is to make a generalized statement about a group. Say something like Asian men are shorter on average. If they say any variation of not all Asian men are short or I know a tall Asian guy, you are dealing with someone with genuinely low IQ. They have proven that they aren't intelligent enough to understand abstract ideas like a statistical average or per capita. Why else would they think bringing up an exception like that was some profound statement? They literally cannot understand abstracts. No attempt at rationalizing or explaining yourself will increase their IQ. Yeah, and I screenshotted this because I work with someone who I'm not going to say is like stupid necessarily, like in some aspects maybe, but like he just doesn't seem to understand like abstract ideas like this during like debates that we have. And it's gotten to the point where it's like, oh, I think that he's just literally not capable of understanding things like per capita, statistical averages. That really resonated with me because I feel like a huge percentage of the population just doesn't like to think in those terms, or they're not able to. Oh yeah, this meme hit home. Why do millennials complain all the time? IDK, man, we watched 2,000 people die on live TV when we were 10, and then literally nothing ever got better. Yeah, that's where things went downhill for me. Like, I loved being a kid up to third grade because I was learning like practical skills and having fun in school. I was learning my ABCs, just basic stuff like that. But then in fourth grade, I started learning nonsense, like the type of math that we never use again in our entire lifetimes. Just a bunch of stupid stats that I immediately forgot. That's when school just got stupid for me, and that's when I really didn't like school. Was right when fourth grade was when 9/11 happened for me. Yeah, and it seriously, like academically wise, it all went down from there. I mean, I'm good now, but school got like just kind of worse during that time period. Everything did, but it's good now. Let's see. Yeah, it just seems like we're just going through a transitional time right now, and that's something that Gigi Young posted about. And I don't know if you listen to her. I really recommend her YouTube channel, but this is what she said. During the transition of ages or end times, old streams from previous eras that once nourished mankind become empty. Their frequencies now too strange and distant for the coming new era. To stay in these patterns is to become slow, indulgent, and backwards. We will see cults arise that refuse to let go of these old ways, these old beliefs. To them they are truth, as they are trapped in time by their trauma. And to the eyes of those that are moving on and evolving, they will appear sick and insane. These cults' patterns of behavior and thought are so behind, they are now an inversion of truth. Our task now is to let these irrelevant energies go, to recognize what is no longer useful or coherent for our evolution, to be transformed with our sun. So, I mean, obviously, the number one thing I think of when I read this are people that are still thinking that the World Health Organization is telling them accurate information. Those people that still believe in, like, Anthony Fauci. Like, they're still so traumatized and connected to, like, the old world, thinking that the old world has their best interests at heart, and they refuse to let that go because understanding that the old world does not care about them would be way too painful for them to realize. It's honestly an extremely dark truth that they're not ready to look at yet. Yeah, breaking. Gosh, might get demonetized for talking about this. I definitely will. Okay, breaking. Children in the UK aged 5 to 11 will no longer be offered jabs. The jab was also banned from children who had not turned 5 by the end of last month. This decision was due to concerns with developmental side effects in children. Wow. Yeah. If I was about to just like post this and be like, I accept apologies. Like, we were right. Like, it's getting to the point where it's objectively true that we were right. I mean, even the science people can't deny it anymore because it's hitting the fan. They understand they can't keep killing these kids, even if it is to like prop up their cult, their ideology. So it says out here, domestic oil is the new ivermectin. You can't have it because it would resolve the crisis that they need you to go through. It's so true. It's horrible how high the gas prices are in the United States when I know there's just like endless, like almost endless rivers and reserves that we just can't even tap into because Joe Biden made it illegal to drill on federal land. It's insane. And then he tries to spin it and blame it on Putin. It's like you can't blame it on Putin when we have the resources. All right, Albert Bourla, he is the CEO of Pfizer. He tweeted this back in the day. Excited to share that updated analysis from our phase 3 study with biotech also showed that our COVID-19 vaccine was 100% effective in preventing CV cases in South Africa. 100%. Wow. That just shows like, oh, well, I have the scientific data that says that they are safe and effective. And it's like, we look back not that long ago, just 2 years, 1 year actually, and here's scientific data, and it shows that you treat like religious dogma, and it showed to just not be true. So it's like, how long are you going to keep showing scientific data acting like it's dogma? Scientific data, I mean, from these vested interests. I am not saying that we just throw away scientific data in debate. Absolutely not. But you need to look where this data is coming from, and if it's from vested interests, like if it's from these corporations that are selling these products. This meme says, the world is about to understand the meaning of weak men create hard times, and shows Joe Biden, Trudeau, and the French Prime Minister, Macron. Yeah, it's very true. I remember maybe in another video, you remember me saying that we live in the Kali Yuga, and in the Kali Yuga, our leaders are like really weak and dark. But in like a Sati Yuga, a golden age, the leaders are like extremely wise and spiritual and understanding. And our leaders are the polar opposite of that. And it really shows. It's another indication of like us being in a Kali Yuga right now. So, you might not like that I'm showing a Nick Fuentes screenshot here, but he said something interesting on Telegram. The real coup. On the 8th of August, Mar-a-Lago was raided by the FBI. September 1st, Biden designates Trump and MAGA Republicans a threat to democracy. Then on the 8th, 35 Trump allies raided by the FBI. Yeah, it really does feel like a coup. He says, so much media hysteria in both 2016 and 2020 about Trump's dangerous rhetoric on peaceful transfer of power or prosecution of political opponents. Yet, since before Biden was even inaugurated, he has been weaponizing federal law enforcement against the presumptive GOP nominee, his supporters, and all of his allies. Yeah, they were all freaking out, like, oh, Trump's not going to give like a peaceful transition of power, and he's going to stay in office. But at the end of the day, like, Trump basically alludes that he's going to run again. He doesn't outwardly say it because he knows that if he's like super outward about it, too early on, then that gives them way too much time to weaponize everything against him, which they're already doing because they're already afraid that he's going to run again. They're terrified, literally weaponizing the FBI. Let's see the screenshot. Nothing to see here, just the King of England with Klaus Schwab at the World Economic Forum in '92. I'm sure they're discussing positive things that will benefit humanity, like you'll own nothing and be happy. Yeah, it's like, who hasn't been to a World Economic Forum meeting? Like, every single person with power in politics seems to go to these meetings. Yeah, look at how young Klaus Schwab looks. Wow, he looks so different. I'm not even saying he looks young. He just looks very different. He's not wearing his like normal evil Bond villain suit. I hardly recognized him. Yeah, this meme from the Hunger Games. The World Economic Forum wishes every district good luck with the coming Hunger Games. Yeah, I'm seeing all these articles of all these billionaires buying these like post-apocalyptic bunkers. You know, it's like if I had $1 billion, that's what I would do too. So I can't tell if they like really know that something's about to happen or they're just, being safe. It's hard to tell. But definitely, it's not stupid to keep some dried rice and beans just in case you need it. So, all right, everybody. Yeah, short video today, but thank you for tuning in.